All right, welcome to the show. Stay tuned because things are going to be going a little bit differently here for this evening, and I'll explain. Let me just make sure that this is actually making its way out into the great big wide world because of the fact that we have had some changes here for this evening. And that's good news. Okay, we are good to go. Tonight's presentation is going to be a little bit different. You may notice at this point in time that there's a whole lot of nothing behind me, where usually there is a screen here. The screen is not the TV screen itself, but the wheels that hold the stand that support the TV are kind of undergoing surgery at this point. I've been promised that it'll be done within 3 days' time. Now, whether that means this Friday into the weekend or next week Monday, I have no idea what that means at this point, but we'll wait and see what happens. But until I can move the monitor over, we're going to do things a little differently. Number one, tonight I'm going to do a shorter version because I'm doing YouTube first. That's what we're doing live at this point in time at about 10 till 10 Eastern time on the 26th. Welcome to the show, by the way. This is Weather Overtime from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee. Usually we do Twitch on the camera sitting right next to this particular camera that we're doing YouTube video on for now. But we can't do Twitch on this system because, unfortunately, if I did Twitch on the other disconnected on the other side camera here, I wouldn't be able to do this. What you're looking at is the actual output of our Barron's Lynx #1 computer system, which is where we do all of our graphics for the on-air show on here. So we're doing this a little differently for tonight. We're going to do a shorter version of YouTube, and then we're going to hop over and redo the same thing on Twitch so that we have the live function going on Twitch so everybody can see what's happening, because I can't upload anything to Twitch. So this will be a little different tonight, and maybe this is the way it's going to be throughout the course of the next several days and weeks. We'll see just how this goes. More for tonight in the form of showers and thunderstorms, maybe again some stronger thunderstorms. We've had a couple of special weather statements, but not much more beyond that. We'll talk more about the forecast coming up here in just a little bit. From the area around Chattanooga, and thanking very much News 12 viewer Donna Hardaway from Chattanooga. Thanks very much for sending in the information about an iridescent spider web being seen on the front porch. Nice to be able to see that. And again, that's our weather picture of the day. If you'd like to see our friendinroofing.com weather poll of the day, I can't drag it over to this window and feature it the way I do on the other screen, so you'll have to look that up for yourself. So if you'd like to send us pictures, go ahead and drop them to us at pictures@wdef.com. Go to website wdef.com/photos, or drop them to our social media pages for more on that. Official at 3:16 this afternoon, we hit a high temperature at the century mark of 100 degrees. Now, that in and of itself is hot, no question about that, but it also was not a record breaker to where we did not see anything in the way of record high. We came within 1 degree of a record high temperature, and that was, in fact, it. So we did not pick up anything else at this point in regards to what we were supposed to see in the possibility of breaking or tying a record high temperature. That just did not happen. But it was pretty doggone hot to begin with, no question about that. Just before 10 o'clock, we've got some scattered showers and thunderstorms passing through the area. We don't have a lot. We did have, again, some lightning. The odds of anything involving regards to severe weather were pretty low to begin with, so there wasn't much actually going on for this evening. Now, looking back to the north of us, yeah, that's where a lot of the rain and thunderstorms were taking place that were severe, but so far we don't have much of anything else going on at this time involving severe weather. So again, hopefully that remains the case into the rest of the evening. I think our chances of severe weather are pretty much on the low side, although the Storm Prediction Center has upped the possibility of marginal threat of severe weather into the rest of the evening for all of the News 12 viewing area. This particular forecast has been issued a few hours ago. Let me see when that was actually issued right there. That was put together as of 8 o'clock, just afterwards. So we are seeing again a a possibility of a marginal threat of severe weather. But I bet as of right now, when we take a look at the thunderstorm forecast, looking at most of the activity going up well to our north, where that slight risk category is continuing for the rest of the evening, all the way back over toward Chesapeake Bay. So really little, if anything, taking place for the rest of the evening tonight, and hopefully, again, not that much of a major problem for us. We do see, again, some problems. I'm not going to go through all the forecast here. I will take a look at the big picture. We're going to try to keep this to about 10 minutes for tonight, just because of the fact that we have to redo this whole thing for Twitch coming up here in a little bit. Our front is on the way on through, and we will see that sticking around areas well back to our north. That's the main energy of the storm back around the mid-Atlantic states, stretching out and then into and around the area back to our west. You see the red and blue interspersed there. That's a stationary front, and that's going to be stretched out across the area. It's going to wobble back and forth across the area, giving us more chances of showers and thunderstorms for tonight. So we will see the potential of some activity going on, but otherwise not a lot for right now. So some good news that we may see some rainfall, but not a lot going on. How did the lookouts do tonight against the Rocket City Trash Pandas? We'll have more on that coming up a little bit later on. Some rain and some humidity causing the glare out there on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. Gray skies from Island Cove Marina and Resort. And into the next few days, as that stationary front sticks around, we should be looking at a few showers and thunderstorms taking place. It doesn't look like anything huge. Again, isolated chances of showers and thunderstorms every day except Monday. Monday looks dry. Tuesday and Wednesday, isolated activity. And then as we go toward Independence Day coming up next week, Thursday, July the 4th, does see, again, some natural fireworks, and believe me, you will not hear me say hot as a firecracker because that is so overdone. Temperatures over the next several days, note these high temperature numbers, lower to mid-90s. What does that have to do with anything? I'll show you in just a second, but just remember that. Asteroid Day coming up on Sunday, and again, planning ahead for the 4th of July, that is where we could be seeing some problems. Now, to these numbers, note that they are in the mid to lower 90s. Okay, so far so good. So, according to the Climate Prediction Center, and this just issued earlier today, to where the orange indicates a slight risk of above normal temperatures, much above normal temperatures, a moderate threat in the red shaded category. The Tennessee state line just south of Chattanooga here, and the line between Georgia and Alabama here. So just south of that Tennessee line is where we see the moderate risk of well above normal temperatures. So what may we be looking at here is a good possibility we'll be seeing high 90s to around triple digits. Again, record-breaking temperatures, we have to get well above 100 degrees, and I don't know if we're going to come close to that, but it is going to be, according to this, at this time of the year, from Independence Day through the next week or so, this is where we could be looking at the possibility of some very intense heat coming through. Again, I would not be surprised to see some outdoor activities being canceled because of the heat. We're getting into the main part of summertime, so outdoor recess from Vacation Bible School, outdoor summer camps are probably going to be, very much an indoor type of thing, especially with this dividing line very close. Now, this is, again, issued for 8 to 14 days out. Whether or not this takes place is, again, anything that goes farther out time-wise for any forecast. That will change the closer you get to an event. That's the way forecasting works. The closer you are, the more specificity, the more of a tack you can put into things and say, this is what's going to happen. Right now, being 1 to 2 weeks out, very difficult to say if that's going to change for the better or for the worse. This is the way that it looks right now. I keep forgetting I'm not gesturing to a screen, so I have to use the mouse on the screen here to show you what's going on. This is where we could see, again, the possibility of very hot conditions, and I'm saying good possibility we could be looking at maybe some triple digits around here. That's the way, leaning toward that area at least. So far, Chattanooga and southeast Tennessee remain in that slight risk possibility, but it does look like we need to pay attention to what may be heading our direction in the form of heat, and that is a very good swath all the way from the mid-Atlantic states all the way back into the mid-South and beyond into the Red River Valley. This could wind up being a very hot July from what it looks like if everything works properly. No cool weather going to be seen anytime around here anytime soon. All right, let's take a quick look at the tropics, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up for tonight so we can get back to Twitch and let everybody know what's going on here. We did have, and I know I had it here someplace, let's see, looking at the tropics. I say that every time, and it should be showing up. There we go. Okay, we did have one storm system. We are now looking at another one. The first one over the area of between close to around Jamaica and down toward northern portions of South America. It's out over the open waters, but it is surrounded by very dry air. Note the lack of clouds south of Cuba and back over toward Hispaniola. That's very dry, dusty air courtesy of the Sahara. So this thing, as it moves in tandem with that very cleared out area, could pick up enough moisture and energy in the atmosphere to move over the Yucatan Peninsula and into the Bay of Campeche. That is where we could see another storm like Alberto that went through this area and moved its way back toward the north and west, getting shredded by the mountains of Mexico. So that could be a storm system there that if you're heading toward Texas, anytime soon, south of Corpus Christi around Brownsville, I would watch this with a lot of interest. Now, going a little farther than that, and of course this is not going to do what I thought it was going to do, so let's just go ahead and zoom out from there, if it'll let me. Okay, come on now. Okay, fine, we'll do this the hard way. Here's what we're looking at for right now. One I was just talking about was over here. The second storm system just launched itself off of Africa and is now going to be making its way into this particular area. It's moving along at a pretty good clip, so we could see something developing out of this. And earlier tonight, it was at a 40% chance of development. Now it is up to a 60% chance of development. So it is a potential possibility that we could be looking at our next system here. I don't think we've gotten to the B-name storm just yet, but it is possible that we could be looking at that coming up relatively soon. So we'll change this over for now to, again, reflect what we're looking at. This, again, could be the system. Let me get that marker out of there. This could be intensifying. It depends on how much dry air is sitting around this area. So we could be looking at a system here that could be making its way into the Caribbean and quite possibly following this other one north of South America, heading over to the Bay of Campeche. Seems that's where the focus is now, and that high pressure sitting just north, that could help with the steering winds to move it in that direction. So far, two systems, one in the Atlantic, one in the Caribbean, and both of them do not appear to be a direct threat to the United States. So that in and of itself is very good news. So hopefully that's where we stay with this. So we'll see how this goes, and we'll keep you updated on this in the course of the next few days. So again, changes on this could be a potential problem for travelers. We'll keep you updated on that as we get new information as we go into the course of the next several days. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. We're not going to do too much. Again, we're going to try to get live on Twitch here in just a little bit. If you've just tuned in, as you may notice, we have no monitor behind me because the monitor is undergoing surgery of sorts. The wheels have been falling off steadily, so we're replacing the monitor and showing you the graphics directly on screen. If we can find out a way to do this with Twitch and YouTube at the same time. I'm not that much of a techie to know how much, if we can simulcast on the same computer. I doubt that we can, so this is going to have to be the way that it is for the time being. So for right now, it's a slightly shorter weather overtime for Wednesday evening. We'll bring you more details on News 12 tonight. Dave Staley is in for Andrew Harrison with the news, taking a look at Rick Nyman's sports tonight at 11, and then coming up tomorrow morning, Chip Chapman has your forecast bright and early on the morning show. So for this foreshortened edition of Weather Overtime, I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onyx. Stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online, and we'll keep you updated on when the monitor will be returning and when we'll be back on Twitch. So stay tuned for more on that. And again, thanks for joining us for Peak of the Week Wednesday.